Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with the next Eyemageddon project pan. This year I'm doing this project to focus on my single eyeshadows because I have quite an extensive single eyeshadow collection and I just want to get more use out of my collection and use more of the shadows more than once, if that makes sense. So I created this project to work on my singles, like I said, and I want to use every single eyeshadow in this project 10 times, and when I have achieved that goal I will roll it out. So I do have my palette like normal here, which is full of singles. It currently looks like this. So I will let you know where I am with all of these singles and which ones I have hit my goal on and which ones will be staying in the project. But before I jump into that, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. Let's jump into the video. So as normal, we're going to go through each eyeshadow in order, and we're going to start with one in the top corner right here. So this eyeshadow right here is Nectarine from the Pastel Roses, and I rolled this one in last month. Since then, I have only used this eyeshadow twice, so I don't have too many uses on it yet, but I have used it twice, so that will be staying in the project. Next to it, we have the shade Lime Twist, which is also from the Pastel Roses. Both of these are more of a kind of sheer topper shadow. This one is slightly more pigmented than Nectarine though, and I used this one twice as well. So both of those eyeshadows will be staying in the project. So let's move on to the third. And the third in the palette is this blue kind of here. It's like blue to pink, and that is a cult classic here in the indie community, and that is the shade The Cosmos from Terra Moons. This is such a beautiful eyeshadow. I feel like everyone loves this eyeshadow, and I've definitely enjoyed reaching for this one a bit more because I wasn't really sure how I felt about it before rolling into this project. That one has now been in for 2 months, and as of the last update I had used this one once, and I have used it 2 more times now for a total of 3. So I have 7 more uses to go, and I'm hoping to hit that goal in the next month. I was hoping to get more use on it this month, but I ended up having to focus on a lot of the eyeshadows towards the end of the month or before this update. So I just kind of forgot about this eyeshadow and I had to prioritize other things. But I have 2 additional uses on it for a total of 3, like I said. So let's move on to the second row. The first eyeshadow we have here is this one there, which is also from Terra Moons. This is one of their iridescent eyeshadows in the shade Phoenix. And this one I rolled in last month, but I'm happy to say that I have actually reached for this one 10 times already. It's really easy for me to reach for these kind of iridescent shades because I can use them on my inner corners as well as on my lid. And I try to reach for these ones at least twice in the month on my lid, and then the rest is fine on its inner corner. I'm actually wearing this one on my inner corners today, if you can see. So I have reached for it the 10th time today, and this one will be rolling out. So we have left an empty space there for that. So let's move on to the shade next to it. And that is also from Terra Moons, and that is the shade Terrestrial. This eyeshadow I also rolled in last month, and this is my most neglected eyeshadow in the past month. Unfortunately, I only reached for it once. I reached for it in a look that I did the other day. I think it might have been my last video going up. I did a look with all of these eyeshadows, so I used every single eyeshadow in this palette in a look. So that was my last video. That was my all the makeup panning video, so check out that if you want to see what look I created with all of the eyeshadows in here. But yeah, Terrestrial will stay in because again I only used it once. So we're up for a bit of an exciting part of the video. We're gonna have a lot of things rolling out coming up, so let's start with the first one, and that is the shade here called Prism from the Pastel Roses. This one has been in for 4 months now, which is a little bit longer than I ideally hope. I want to have ideally everything out within 3 months in this project, but I neglected this eyeshadow a little bit, and I had only used it 4 times in the first 3 months it was been here. And I'm happy to say that I used it for the 7th time today. So I'm using this one on like the outer part of my lid. So that is like the eyeshadow there. So this one will be rolling out because I reached for it the last time today. Moving on to the mattes here at the bottom. The purple there in the corner is the shade Hopscotch from Makeup Geek. And again, this is another one that has been in for 4 months now. So I really focused in on this one to get it out because it's been in longer than I wanted to. And as of the last update, I had 6 uses on this one, so I had 4 more to go. And I'm happy to say that I reached for this one the last time when I did that look in my last video, so that was my 4th use. So this one will also be rolling out, which is kind of nice because I've been working on this purple for so long, and it's not really a shade that I wanted to reach for that much. I haven't been feeling purple very much. But yeah, I did reach for it the additional 4 times and it will be rolling out. For the next eyeshadow here, this one has been in for 2 months, and that is the shade Twilight from Terra Moons. It's like a pastel yellow. I'm actually wearing this one today in like to blend out my crease. It's very, very subtle. It's a very pastel shade. And this one I had used 5 times in the first 2 months it's been in the project, so I had 5 more uses to go. And again, I used it for the 5th time today, so this one can also roll out. It was a really easy shade to incorporate once I started using it because it's used like a blending out shade. It's slightly yellow leaning, so it doesn't go with every single look, but it does help create a really nice transition from a lot of other shadows. The transition shade I'm working on, or I used today, which is actually the next shade on the palette, is quite a nice blendable shade anyway, but I use this one here as like an additional level of blendingness, used to get the seamless transition. But yeah, this one will be rolling out. And then lastly, we have that kind of brown shade there for the mattes, and that is from Sydney Grace in the shade Camel. This one has been in for 2 months, and I had used it 3 times on the first month it was in. And again, I have reached my goal on this one. I reached for it 7 additional times, last time today. And as you can see in my crease, this is a very nice, subtle transition shade. It's a perfect transition shade for me. I love this eyeshadow a lot. It is such a good one, but yeah, I really enjoyed working on this one, and it was an easy one to incorporate. So I'm actually surprised I didn't have this out in the first month. But like I mentioned last update, I was just very overwhelmed with eyeshadows in the last month. So yeah, it took a little bit longer to get this one out, but I'm happy to have it out in 2 months at least. Again, it's a very easy shade to reach for, so I was expecting to have this one out anyway this month. Then we have the Cleon eyeshadows here on the end. We're going to start with the top one here, which is the shade Empress. This one has been in for 3 months now, and in the first month I reached for this one 3 times. I didn't reach for it all last month, so I had 7 more uses to go. And this is another eyeshadow that I have reached my goal on. I have reached for it 7 additional times, which means that it can roll out. This was one of their, is it one of the Glitter Vibrants? Yes, it is. It's one of the Glitter Vibrants multichromes. And it's a really stunning shade. It's quite textured, but I like those kind of things. But if you aren't really into really thick textured metallics, this won't be for you. But yeah, I really enjoyed working on this one. And again, it was quite an easy one to incorporate when I was doing warm tone looks, because it can be used as a topper, it can be used like more pigmented. But yeah, I really enjoy reaching for this one as well. Then there in the middle, we have the shade Vermilion, which is one of their deep iridescent multichromes. I think you can see some of the shifts there actually. It goes from like a pink to a goldy green. And this one, I had not reached for it all in the first month it was in the project, so that was last month. And then for this month, I have reached for it twice. So I have 2 total uses on it, which means that it will be staying in the project as well. I feel like 2 is the golden rule for a lot of these shadows. I reached for most of the shades to stay in twice. But yeah, this one it will be staying in, like I said, and I have 8 more uses on it. And I'm hoping to have that out next month. We'll see how I go. 8 is quite a high number to reach in 1 month. But I do like the shadow a lot, so I think I should be able to do it. But we'll see how I go. It is one of my favorite Cleon eyeshadows, actually. I have just been reaching for other things. And this is a shadow that I like using like as the only thing on my lid, with like a light transition similar to what I'm wearing today. But since I've been planning a lot of eyeshadows and trying to use a lot of eyeshadows, I haven't really been going for single eyeshadow looks, which is why I haven't reached for it too much. But we'll see how I do it next month. Maybe I can have it out, maybe not. We'll see. But yeah, that is the next one. And then lastly in the palette, we have the shade Mural, again from Cleona. This is like a cult classic as well. It has like that kind of tealy green base. You can see it right there, going into like an orange shift. And I'm actually wearing this one as well today on like the inner part of my lid. I have another eyeshadow underneath it, but that is what I'm wearing on the inner part of my lid. And this is another eyeshadow that has been in for 3 months. In the first month, I reached for it 4 times. I did not reach for it last month, so I had 6 more uses on it. Again, I have used this one 6 additional times, so this one will be rolling out again, and I will be replacing it very soon actually, because we go through all the eyeshadows. So these 5 here are actually all of the eyeshadows staying in. So we have a lot to replace, and I'm going to follow the same kind of layout as I had last time. So we're going to add in 1 iridescent here, 1 like a regular shimmer, 3 matte, and 2 more Cleon eyeshadows. That is the plan. So let's go through them in order of what I'm rolling in. So the first one that I'm rolling in is another iridescent shade from Terra Moons, and this shade is in the shade Lunar Spectrum. This is like pink to green, I would say, like pinky peach to green. Kind of iridescent shade, and it's really beautiful. I think it's going to go quite nicely with everything else that I'm rolling in. I don't know if you can see like the pink mainly. I don't know if you can see the green at all, but yeah, it's a really pretty eyeshadow, and yeah, I'm excited to roll this one in. So that is the first eyeshadow I'm bringing in, and again, as always, my goal is to reach for this one 10 times. As for the like normal shimmer, we have one right here from the Pastel Roses. And this eyeshadow is in the shade Sakura, which is like a pink base, as you can see there. going into like a teal to a purple shift. It's a really, really stunning shadow, and yeah, it shows off quite blue purple leaning on the lid because of this really strong shift, but it does also have that strong pink base. So this is right there, and again you can see the blue, like I said, mainly, and I don't know if you can pick up the pink in any angle, but it's definitely there and I can see it. Especially with this strong like bluish purple shift as well, it goes into like almost a fuchsia. But that is the next shadow that I'm rolling in, so that is what my palette looks like now. So for the mattes, I decided to roll in 3 City Grace eyeshadows because I want to reach for them more. And I decided to go with 3 kind of more transition shades because, again, they are the easiest for me to reach for. And I feel like I want to have some easy ones in this project this month because I've been quite overwhelmed with what I'm panning. So the first one I'm rolling in is the shade Fairy Tale, which is like this light peachy mauve, I would say. It's like, yeah, I would say peachy mauve. I don't know if that's even a thing. But it's like a warm toned mauve shade with definitely a little bit of peach in it, which is why I'm calling it a peachy mauve. But that is it right there, and I think it's going to go really nicely with the 2 shades that I rolled in, as well as what else is in the palette. The next shade that I'm rolling in is this shade San Jose, which is this one right here. This is more of a neutral kind of brown transition shade. It's really, really pretty. I've swatched it right there. So you can see it's one I think is going to go with a lot of looks. It's similar to Camel, which I just rolled out, but it's a little bit more cool tone than that. And I think, again, it's going to be quite easy to reach for with the rest of the shades that I have in here, as well as the palette. So that is why I'm rolling in San Jose. Then the last eyeshadow is one that is a little bit more different for me, and this one right here, which is called Parallax Light. This one I think was in collaboration with Temptalia. And it's like this light kind of grey transition, so it's definitely the more cool tone option, and I'll swatch it down there at the bottom. I think, again, this one is going to be a little bit harder for me to reach for, but I still want to get used out of it, and I think since it's a transition shade, it's going to be somewhat easy to reach for. So that is currently what my palette looks like. So let me bring in the last 2 shadows, which are the 2 Cleon eyeshadows. So the first out of the 2 that I'm bringing in is this eyeshadow right here, which is the shade Cobblestone, and it's one of their Earth Vibrant multichromes. I don't know if you can see any of the shift, but it's like a muted pink to green with like a grey base. You can probably see the pink mainly there, but I don't know if you can pick up any of the green shift. Maybe not, but yeah, you can see the pink to the grey base at least. And then again, like I said, it has a muted green shift. It's like, it's not that muted, but since it is over that grey base, it does mute it down a little bit. So it's going to be a bit more of a wearable shade, and I think this one's going to pair really nicely with the last one that I just rolled in. So that's kind of what I'm rolling this one in. This is also an eyeshadow from Cleona that I heard a lot of people talk about, but I haven't reached for that much myself. So I do want to get to know it better and see if it's something that I love as well. Then the last eyeshadow that I'm bringing in is a classic, and it's one that I love a lot. And this is the Shadow Blaze, again from Cleona. And this is like a tan base with a pink to gold shift. And it's one of their glitter iridescent multichromes. I again love this eyeshadow. It looks like this. You can see it there in the bottom. So it's like a warm toned version of this one almost, because it does have like that pink shift and then like a gold shift, whereas this one has more of a green shift, but similar. And this one has like a warm tan base, whereas this one has a cool grey base. So they are kind of like the cool and warm version of each other. But yeah, I love Blaze and I'm excited to reach for that one. And that is what the palette looks like. So you can see like all these 3 shadows look very, very similar. But like these 2 right here might look similar in the pan, but you can see in the swatches they are quite different. But that is everything that I'm rolling in. Quite light tones, quite like easier tones for me to reach for. But again, I wanted like an easier month because I've had a little bit of struggles with eyeshadows that I'm panning, so I wanted to give myself a bit of an easy go. And also with the Cleon eyeshadows, I wanted to roll in some easier ones for me to reach for because I am waiting for my Cleona order. I ordered all of the new expansion shades, or like the newest releases, which are the dimensional and the, what are they called? The light jewel multichromes, or the jeweled lights, I guess. So I'm waiting for those, and once those are in, I might want to put some of them into this palette. And I do want to ideally have at least 2 of these out next month, so I can replace them with those eyeshadows. So that is it for today, you guys. I really, really hope you enjoyed it. Next month, I'm hoping to have out everything again that's been in for 3 months. So that I think would be the shade The Cosmos, as well as Vermilion. Those two will be my main focuses because those have been in for 3 months at that point. And then I think I could also have out a couple more. I think maybe again I can have out the iridescent shade because again it is quite easy for me to reach for. Maybe I can also have out this one here, Nectarine, because again it's very easy, as well as one of the transition shades. I think that should be doable. And then, like I already mentioned, I do ideally want to have a second clear eyeshadow out as well. So that is it for today. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I'm hoping you're having a lovely day wherever you are, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye guys.